Hey guys, Dalinda here. I am super excited to be here with the founder of Con Ganas Mija conference. It is happening September 16th, actually here at the beautiful Doubletree Hotel in McAllen, Texas. And I'm really amped to introduce to you the founder of Con Ganas Mija conference, Natalie Garza.
Hi, and I'm excited to be here with you today too. I am super pumped for our event that's coming up in a little less than 2 weeks here at the beautiful DoubleTree Hotel. Like you said, we're gonna have a lot of different things throughout the day. We're gonna have our conference part with a lineup of local women leaders, and then we're gonna have a Mija Mercado, which is our vendor market that is all of that is going to be with all women-owned business vendor market. So I'm glad that you're here with me today to talk about the conference and then just chat a little about Con Ganas Mija.
Yes. Okay. So I want to start off first, if you're
Sure.
cool. Last year I was really excited. Thank you for allowing me to keynote. But what I was most fascinated by was like why you decided to put this together and give us an opportunity as women and as Latinas to come together in this space. So if you could just give me a little bit, maybe like a background or what you were like, why you were inspired, or what was your inspiration to put this conference together?
Yeah, of course. So I started Con Ganas Mija in 2020. This was pre-pandemic. So like in about January, I started a networking group on Facebook, and I was just like reaching out to like local girls that were kind of in my network or women that were in my network, and I was like, you know what, like this person is doing this person is doing that. Like, let's all get together and like just like have a networking group of like professionals and business owners that are like in our network. So that's still around. It's on Facebook under Con Ganas Mija. And from there, when the pandemic happened, that was kind of like a little like ooh, like look at what's going on. Like the people are losing their jobs, and the small business community is really struggling at that point. So I was like, you know what, like I need to like build this network of other women business owners and get them together to like share the information that they have. Like if they are having a promo on something and they're trying to get the word out, like why not do it within their own community of like entrepreneurs and professionals in the valley, you know, that are Latinas and they're from our area. So like why not like share that information with each other? So from then I went kind of just building that group out, and then in 2021 I launched Con Ganas Mija, our subscription box.
Oh, nice.
So we did a subscription box in 2021, and then throughout 2022, if you imagine like brands like Ipsy or FabFitFun, like where they put together like just like stuff that you can buy and then they send you a box. So like we did the same thing with the small business community.
Very cool.
We were purchasing products from the women-owned business community in the valley, and we would put their products and put together like these curated subscription boxes, and we would give them out, or we would sell them, right?
For sure, yeah.
So that's what I was doing to like help my small business community around me,
Yes.
because I know that time frame like was very difficult for everybody, and why not like support each other? And that was kind of like my way of being able to like, okay, well, like let's help me help you help everybody, right?
Yeah.
So like that was kind of where the subscription box kind of came from. And then in 2022 I was like, you know what, like I want to do a conference. I have like this business that I built through the subscription boxes and through the networking group. Like why not have a conference where I'm like, okay, well if somebody asks me like, well, how do you start a business, or like how did you do this, or how did you build your website, or just any of the above, in that networking group we would get all of those questions about like just sharing knowledge with each other.
For sure.
So one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a conference.
Yes.
And I've always been kind of somebody that maybe does things on a whim, but trust me, like it's been very well thought out.
For sure,
Because
yes.
I am an overthinker, like 100%. So, but like one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna put together like women that are in the group that like want to speak on their industries and their knowledge in the industries
100%.
and their expertise. So I wanted to share that with everybody that was interested in Con Ganas Mija, or was a follower or
Yes.
supporter of Con Ganas Mija. So in 2022, we had our first event in Westaco, and you were the keynote speaker. And thank you for that again.
For sure.
I think you were at the top of mind for a lot of women in our community because you had just won the trustee election for STC, and you're the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club in McAllen. So when I was looking to kind of round out like our speaker lineup, I was like, you know what, I need to find somebody that is really impactful in the community, that to be our keynote speaker. And like from one day to the next, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna ask Alinda. Like I wonder if she'll say yes. So I kind of like I hit up like our the girls that we have that kind of help me, and I asked Alexis. I'm like, hey, do you have her phone number by chance? Like, can you reach out to her and see yes if it's something that if it's something that you would do? And like, yes, you said you agreed to be our keynote, and that's kind of where we are today. We had our event last year in October, and then this year we're slated to have our event on September 16th here at the DoubleTree. And we have an amazing lineup of speakers, and then our keynote speaker this year is going to be Sandra Velasquez of Nopalera.
I know. So tell me a little bit about Sandra. I follow the Instagram page. So everybody needs to follow. Everybody needs to follow the Instagram page. So I don't want to screw this up. I'm going to tell you exactly where. So the Instagram is Con Ganas Mija all together, but then specifically for the conference, right? It's going to be Mija Conference TX. So Mija Conference. But if you go to the Con Ganas Mija Instagram page, and you can just click on the link. But one of the things that I was like super excited about was the keynote for this year. So you had mentioned, of course, that she was on Shark Tank, but I think what's like really, really important, first of all, fun fact, right? Women hold the majority of decision-making power across the country when it comes to spending dollars. I think we all saw that, by the way, from what the Barbie movie did.
100%.
And then, of course, Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So I know Forbes magazine was talking about that, but economists all across the country were talking about the value and the power of women and our wealth, and we're the decision makers when it comes to a lot of the spending that happens in our own homes, whether it's for ourselves or whether it's for our children and even our spouses. That historically we've always been that. We've always had this power to be able to be the decision makers, but for whatever reason we were sort of like in the background of it.
Yeah, and I would argue that those numbers are probably more or higher with Latino households.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, like we're definitely the ones calling the shots.
And
seeing like figuring out like where we're gonna put our dollars behind.
For sure.
And obviously, like with Con Ganas Mija, I feel like it gives you a reason to support these businesses because they are the women in our community, and they are the business owners that are trying to build something, and 100%. Why not support them? Like if you're going to support Barbie, if you're going to support the Taylor Swift, then like we can support each other. Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So tell me about your keynote, Sandra. I know she's coming in from out of state, so tell us a little bit about her.
Sandra Velasquez is from is the CEO and founder of Nopalera. So they are a California-based company, and I believe that she is from California, raised in California, and she started her company in, I want to say, 2020, and she started during the pandemic, the Nopalera brand. So Nopalera is a bath and body, I don't want to say Bath and Body Works, but like it's a bath and botanicals company that she made, and she uses the main ingredient of her product line is the nopal, just because of sustainability and whatnot. So I really enjoyed seeing her journey. I did follow her. I found her brand just probably on social media or on TikTok, that I just found it. I just came across it one day, and I followed her story. And then in 2020, I think it was last year, that she was on an episode of Shark Tank where she was looking for, obviously when you go on Shark Tank, you're looking for partners for your business, and you're looking for venture capital funds, right, to build and scale your business. So she was on Shark Tank, and what she said on that episode of Shark Tank, and I love watching Shark Tank, by the way. It's like a little, I love watching the little snippets on TikTok. when she was on her episode, obviously, like, I knew it was coming up. She posted on her socials, and I made sure to tune in that day.
For sure.
And she was looking for equity in her business, and in exchange for a partnership with one of the sharks, right? So they all kind of lowballed her, which is what they do, right? This
For
is
sure.
what the sharks do.
Yes.
And they all kind of lowballed her, and then she didn't accept any of the offers, which I thought was very interesting because, like, you go on there hoping to get an offer, and
sure.
they made her offers, but she wasn't willing to accept what they were offering,
Yeah.
right? So she said something that I felt like really like touched me, and like really like it resonated with me, because it was what she said was like, oh, well, I hear my ancestors saying, Mija, no te desprecies. And like for me, that's just like, okay, you said Mija, right? Like I love that. Branding wise,
Yes.
like that's amazing. But it's also like it's very true to all of us, and we should all like say like to ourselves, Mija, no te desprecies. Like,
Yes.
know your worth, stand in your worth, and do what you need to get done.
I still struggle with
right?
that. So
yeah.
during, and I don't know if this is everyone or if this is just women or Latinas or me. It could just be me. But when I was running my campaign,
Yeah.
I had a very difficult time asking for financial support for me.
Yeah.
Did I believe that I was the best candidate? Absolutely. Did I know that my values were aligned with the mission of South Texas College? For sure. But I really, really struggled to ask people to financially support me. But
It's
I
hard.
noticed that I never have struggled with asking other people to support other people. So,
Right.
for instance, even this, where I was just like, last year, I really love the concept of your conference. I have no issue with going and asking people to sponsor. You didn't ask me to do that. It's just something that I believe in.
That's
I've noticed
amazing.
it on
Thank you.
social. And so then I'm like, hey, go sponsor. I have no issue like asking people to support you. I have no issue, and it's not difficult for me to ask other people to support other candidates financially or other businesses. But for whatever reason, like asking you to give
It's
me
hard.
is so difficult. However, I've noticed that most all men that I've come across, they have no issue at all with
They
asking
don't bat
for
an
money.
eye. They don't bat an
So
eye.
I've learned a lot, and that's okay, right? We can learn from others. But I think that resonates with me as well, that I'm definitely still learning my value. And when we go back to Nopalera, everyone knows. I mean, all across the country, people are really understanding. For instance, in the state of Texas, Latinos became the minority, right? So it's never
Right.
going to shift ever again.
Yeah.
And demographers like 7 or 8 years ago, 15 years ago, were showing like, be ready, because everybody that is marketing to anyone needs to begin to align themselves to market to the Latino base, and specifically to the Latina base, because of our spending power across the state and across the country. So I think, like, of course everyone's going to want a piece of Nopalera, because she has so much potential that every major corporation is wanting to tap into, right?
Yeah.
So I'm super amped that she's going to be here. So Sandra's going to be here as the keynote speaker at the Con Ganas Mija conference. I know, again, it's happening September 16th. So here at the DoubleTree Hotel, everyone can still get tickets, right?
Yeah.
So what's that? Can you tell me a little bit about that before we go on to some of the other speakers? Tell me about how we can get tickets for this conference.
So everything on my socials to my website is just Con Ganas Mija. So my website's conganasmija.com. You can buy the tickets to the conference at our website. We do, and I'm glad that you touched on this, because at least for the women in our community and in our region, I wanted to make sure that the conference was reasonable for everybody.
Absolutely.
So last year we had 2 ticket levels, and then this year I did a lower ticket fee, entry level ticket fee that doesn't come with anything.
Yes.
So our tickets start at $20.
Very cool. Okay, that's awesome.
It is amazing.
Yes.
Like, you can go and like have lunch and spend $20, or
Yes.
you can like spend the whole day
That's right,
with us
and
at Con
learn
Ganas
and-
Mija. Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, and support all the amazing women-owned businesses, myself included, at the conference. So our tickets start at $20, then our general admission goes up to $35, and then our VIP, which is like my favorite, goes up to $60.
Very cool.
So I think I want to make sure that I keep it reasonable for everybody, that everybody has has access to it.
For sure.
And it's reasonable for everybody to
So
be able
tickets,
to.
so everyone can still get tickets. I have a
Yes.
question. Can they get tickets at the door if they're not sure?
So
what does that look like?
depending on the next few weeks,
Okay.
I would say that there is going to be availability for the no frill ticket
Okay.
level. That's a
Yes.
$20 ticket level.
Perfect.
The VIPs, like I have very
sure.
few left.
Okay.
Like within the last few days, like I have very few left.
Got
So I don't think I won't be selling VIP ones
For
at
sure.
the door.
Okay.
The general admission ones, we might, but
Yes.
for sure the no frill ticket level, we should be able to accommodate people
Perfect.
that come in.
So
through
this
the
is
door.
definitely an investment, right? It's an
Yeah.
investment of our time. It's an investment of our dollars, which like we as women need to invest in ourselves. We need to
Definitely.
continue to invest in our learning. And what I also love about conferences like Con Ganas Mija is that we also connect with each other. So last year I actually met several people who now support the Boys and Girls Club that I run, and
That's
I
amazing.
actually met them at the conference. So it also is an investment in our network. So there's so
Yeah.
many things that you can get for $20, right? You would get all of the learning that's happening, and we're getting the network that comes with the conference and some of those opportunities that you give. And then of course it also allows us to support local, which is super duper important. Let's go
Definitely.
to the speakers. Like when we talk about investing in ourselves, I really love all of the speakers that you have. One of the girls that I really am a huge fan of that's out of San Antonio that I'm excited that she is going to be here in the Valley is Cristina Olivares. So I do
Yeah.
follow her on social media, on Instagram, and I've learned a lot from her. And so to be able to
Definitely.
come over here, where usually a class with her or a talk with her would be several $100s.
Definitely.
So tell me about what she's going to talk about. I know the title of that is The Introvert's Playbook. So online visibility, bringing ease and flow to your online presence. And so, of course, Christina, you can actually find her on Instagram
yeah.
at the Social Butterfly Gal. She's super great, out of San Antonio. But tell me a little bit about her and what we can expect here at the conference.
Yeah, so I had her as a speaker at our event last year also, and
Yes.
she was on our main lineup. So last year, after the survey of the attendees that went to the event, they all said that they really loved her
Yes.
her speech or her address to the conference, and I decided, like, you know what, let's why not bring her back, but for a more intensive course, instead of more like general information. So she is having a course on the Introvert's Playbook, and it is not on our main stage, so that event is not going to be a part of the main lineup. It is a breakout session that you can purchase by itself for $150, or if you have a VIP ticket, you get it at a discounted rate.
Awesome.
So that is amazing in itself because it brings more accessibility to the people in our region. And she's a Valley girl.
Yes.
She's from San Antonio now, but
Yes.
she's a Valley girl. Yeah, so I'm really glad to bring her on again for this
For sure.
year. And the rest of the lineup, I think, like, they're so amazing.
Yeah, tell me
And,
about the
yeah.
lineup. Tell me, I mean, you do
Yeah.
have amazing people coming in and having these
Yeah.
talks, so tell us about that.
So we have, I think when I counted, there was 14 individual speakers
Very
at
cool.
the event. There are some panel speakers, so then there's 7, I think, sessions in total. So we're starting off with a session on community with Dimitra Trejo. So
Yes.
Dimitra is like a spitfire, is
Yeah,
like
I
what I
know.
like
I
to.
love her. I love
Yeah, me
Dimitra,
too.
yes.
And she was our MC at the event last year, so she's hosting her own session on community over competition, which I think is a very relevant topic to
Yes.
to us here in the Valley, because I feel
For
like,
sure.
especially in the business community, we can maybe a little bit lose sight of our community.
Yes.
And we need to just like make sure that we remember that
For
there's
sure.
enough for everybody
Yeah,
to eat. You know,
absolutely.
like there's room for all of us.
Yes.
So I think she's gonna cover that very, very from her experience in the social media world, because she's an influencer here in the Valley, and I think I'm really excited about that,
For
about
sure.
her session. And then we are gonna have a session on Canva.
Oh,
So
I love Canva. I
is
use
gonna
it all
be,
the time.
me too.
I know. I know the Photoshop people the Photoshop snobs. I have a BFA, so I get to
Yeah,
say that.
no.
I have a design degree, so I get to poke fun at that. But I mean, just in terms of efficiency, I at the Boys and Girls Club we use that. Can I tell you, because
Yeah.
my campaign, as I ran for STC, I had a very little budget, but a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
And Canva allowed me to create everything. So everything for my campaign was created on Canva.
Definitely.
I really had to be mindful of the cost associated with my campaign. And I
Yeah.
ran in like 5 or 6 cities. So as trustee, it's like, we have mid McAllen to North McAllen and Alton and Mission and into Far and Edinburgh. And so
Right.
like all the dollars needs to be stretched. And so I noticed that you're going to have a session on Canva. And I think everybody, so a small business owner all the way to a corporation,
Definitely.
all the way to someone running for an elected office that has a shoestring budget, we can all use Canva. So that's great.
So Canva is a free tool. You can also get a pro account too,
Yes.
which if you want a little bit of
I think
extra.
it's like $6.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah, it's
reasonable.
super
It's
reasonable.
super accessible for everybody, and I think that session is being led by Cindy Mata Vasquez. So she's going to be teaching us a little bit about Canva, because there's so many Canva hacks. Like I'm sure that even the most like seasoned Canva user can benefit from her session. The next session that we're gonna have is I'm super excited about it. Is it's going to be the From Struggle to Strength with Rebecca Cantu. She is the owner of Braids by Becca out of McAllen. So if you follow her account under Braids by Becca, she's amazing. Like I went and I got my braids done a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow. Like
I
my
know
hair,
she's an artist, and it's super hard to get in to get your braids done by her.
Yes, no, like it was so like intricate, and it was just like the 2 Dutch braids.
Yep.
It was so beautiful, and I think like her story, which is very interesting, is going to be something that a lot of people in the Valley can resonate with. A lot of women in the Valley can resonate with, because I mean, not everybody's like upbringing is amazing. This
For
amazing
sure.
story. So I
Yes.
think her story in itself like is going to be very impactful for the women in the Valley, and she's just killing it right now. Like like her and her husband run Braids by Becca, and like, he has his own like part in the salon, but like she bootstrapped it like herself, and I think she has a really big following too on her socials.
For sure.
I think like on Facebook she has like over 200,000 followers, and on Instagram and on TikTok, like she's growing too.
Well, that
so
doesn't surprise me, because the beauty industry is, of course, multi-billion-dollar industry every year. And so when you talk about lashes, when you talk about braids, when you talk about, we have med spas that are popping up everywhere. I mean, I think definitely gone are the days. First of all, nobody should have ever looked down on people that were going into cosmetology, but I think like people would think that it was like off-put-ish, when the reality is they've been banking for a long time. But the cosmetic and beauty industry all across the world is just an industry that is making so much money. And again, when we talk about women and our dollar and how, just the Latina dollar that is just so valuable to people, and people have to understand. It'll be cool to hear, her story, Becca's story.
Definitely.
And tell me who else is speaking at the conference?
So the next speaker that we have after Becca is gonna be, and she's also teaching a braid class she's teaching a braid class on the breakout session area.
Cool.
So like you can book with her if you want to take the braid class with her in the evening. But she's the next person that we have on the lineup is Leah Wise. So Leah Wise is a local attorney, and I'm sure anybody, if you mention Krashka, I'm sure you're like, secure the bag, right?
For sure.
Like
yes.
So I love following her, and I love like her social media.
Her authenticity is
unmatched.
It
is, and I feel like I really like watching her content, because you don't see other attorneys in the Valley like being as transparent and being as like authentic on
well, I mean,
on
she's
social.
Actually, I mean, I know we're talking a lot about the Valley, but Leah Wise, she's really created like a framework and a model for attorneys like across the nation. So it's awesome because Leah's like here, but when you actually look to see, there's like other attorneys that are just like trying to mimic her authenticity. And so I always tell everybody around me, because again, you had talked about it earlier with the communal spirit and like a community over competition, and that's what I try to tell people all the time. I'm like, everyone can do the thing, right? So everyone can imagine that they can do something. So for instance, with you, like everyone can imagine that they can do the Con Ganas Mija conference, right?
Right.
But it's the execution of it. So there could be 10 people that are, for instance, trying to run and create a podcast, right? So there could be 10 people in the valley that are doing that, but it's the execution that matters, right? And so in her case, I mean, there's so many female attorneys, and so she really positioned herself with her authenticity, and to try to replicate that is very, very difficult, you know. And then she's just come out of the, you know, she came off the blocks and just was like, her hustle was so real, and she has such an incredible following. So that'll be really, I mean, that in itself is an investment that of like the learning and the network that will be great coming to the conference.
So her session is on branding, which I think is like amazing because like if anybody's gonna teach me anything about branding, it's gonna be Leah Weiss. Because like you know her, right? You've seen her on her billboards. She took over that building that in FAR. So and like she really like she ran with it. Like, and I love all of the content that she's sharing from that. And I'm really excited to learn on branding her. I reached out to her because I saw her at a different conference. It was a different event where she spoke, and she had said something like, "What is it about your brand that people like?" Somebody asked her about that, and she was like, "I know it's really hard to put yourself on social media and put yourself on camera, but people want to know who you are."
100%.
And that was kind of like the little switch flicked off for me.
Well,
because
I've seen it, girl, with the stuff that you're posting. I'm like, okay, there you are. Yeah, that's good.
Because when I first started the page or the brand, I was very like, I'm just gonna be like put out informational stuff. Like I don't want to be in any of my content.
Like which is important.
And it is important, but no one's gonna see it if like they don't have something like an emotional attachment to it.
For sure.
So, and I think that's something that Leah said that I was like, okay, like I need to put myself in the camera a little bit more.
Yes.
So I can't like that was probably I think I saw her like in March of 2022, like somewhere along there, and then like the conference happened, and like now like we're here and she's speaking at the event, and I'm super excited. Thank you, Leah, for doing that. I'm sure you don't remember saying this or whatever, but I was listening, and it really did make a difference, at least for my brand and the perspective of Con Ganas Mija.
Yeah.
So
that alone, being able to hear Leah speak and just getting like, I think what's also really cool about this conference is that it's like-minded people. We're very similar. We have a lot of similar lived experiences, and so we can no longer say, which by the way has been false all along, but we can no longer say like, you know, greatness is coming out of our region, because the reality is it always has been.
Yeah, definitely.
But I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, we in this region we need to stop believing what other people are telling us we are. Yeah. So we believe what the media is telling us in this region that we are, and yes, there's some real data to show, you know, that we've got a ways to go, but we are also a very young community, and so to be able to highlight some of these women that are from here, because we say from here in that, like Cristina Olivares, like you mentioned, she's from this area. She just currently is residing in San Antonio, right? But just greatness has always come from here, from the valley. So to be able to like spotlight that, and so for women, like there's no excuse, in other words. So similar lived experiences that are going to be on the stage that you are highlighting at the Con Ganas Mija conference, with a similar group of women that we're all going to be there and listening and being able to take even one thing away, right? Like you mentioned, Leah said this one thing to you and that really resonated, and look at how much you've grown. And it could very well have been because of that motivation, right? So coming to the conference means, again, a lot of things, which is your own personal development that we all need to be investing in, but then also, again, the network that is created when you get here and you connect, and then you follow each other on social media. So tell me who else is speaking at the conference and what they're talking about.
And like before I finish the rest of the lineup, I think you said something that was like about networking that I'm like, okay, if I've seen it in a lot of the comments on the content that I share, it's like somebody's tagging their friend.
Yes.
And it's like, it's okay to come by yourself too. Like you'll find somebody that you're gonna like hang out with and like talk to, and like you might find somebody that is like, you might have your like bestie from like growing up when you're little, but like having like a work bestie or having like a professional bestie, somebody that's gonna like tag team with you at networking events, because those things like, and I'm sure it could be an intimidating coming to the conference and you're not sure what to expect.
100%.
But like if you have somebody, and if you're coming by yourself, like you're already winning, like because it's like you're pushing yourself to do something that you're not comfortable with.
Because it is super uncomfortable.
It
Can
is.
we just, that's a good point. Can we just like admit that? Like,
It
by
is.
everybody that comes to the conference or anybody that goes to a networking event, when you go alone, everyone is uncomfortable. I wish I
You're all,
had
like,
known that.
You know, like
yes.
I'm so awkward in those situations, and I think if you think about it, it's because the environment itself isn't really like conducive to like
For sure.
to like wanting to go up and talk to somebody.
Yes.
You know, like because it's hard.
For sure.
And I think what I'm trying to make the Mija conference like different from other networking events in the Valley or just conferences in the Valley is that it's fun and
Yes.
it's like a supportive environment, and where it doesn't feel like, ooh, like who's my competition,
Yes.
kind of thing.
For sure.
Because it's just the nature of like networking,
For
and
sure.
you're being around other people that are in like business or a professional setting, that like there's like a little kind of like feeling in the
Yes.
environment that it's very competitive, so you don't know who you want to talk to, or if they want to talk to you, or if what they're trying to get out of you.
For
like
sure.
So I think a lot of why I created the conference is so that it takes that aspect of the competition
Yes.
feeling out of networking,
Yeah.
and just wanting to go up to somebody that you might see that like, oh, you know what, like I like their outfit, like let me go like chat to see like
Yes.
what they do and like why they came to the conference, you know. So I think having the environment where people want to chat with each other,
For
and I
sure.
think like just like seeing another girl at the conference and wanting to go and talk with them about what they do and like what their motivation to come to the conference is. I think that's really
Yes.
special, and I want to be able to protect that.
For sure.
And
I love that.
to
Like the
be able,
sanctity of that communal spirit, I
Yeah,
think is
definitely.
really important. Very cool.
Yeah, so come with your bestie. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like super fun vibes.
Yes.
So the next person that we have on our lineup is it's a panel discussion on real estate. And I
Ooh.
think that's a hot topic right now. And I know you just
It
bought a
is.
condo,
I did.
investment condo. So like kudos
Yeah,
to you
thank
and
you.
your family
Yeah,
for doing that. I know that's it's risky, right? Like
It is. Don't
but
remind
it's,
me
oh,
on
no, no.
camera. I'm just joking. No. It is risky. Let me tell you. I think I'm really excited. I have, I really appreciate and value the network that I have and that have continued to establish. But the bigger thing is just like us bravely and boldly asking questions.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we sort of feel like we have to stay in our lane. But in my particular case, I knew that there was wealth in real estate.
Definitely.
I knew that I wanted to build wealth in my family. I knew that I wanted to be the one to build generational wealth for my family and my children. And then I'll also be honest with you. I know a lot of people who own real estate, and I'm like, how'd they do that? Like,
Right, I can do that,
I
yeah.
can do that. And that's the thing is like, I have continued to learn that like, I can do that, right? I can run an election. I can be an executive director. I can
Yeah.
be all these things, right? And you have to like put in on it and all of the good stuff. But I did start to say like, I can own real estate outside of my
Yeah.
home. So our first, of course, piece of property that is not, is considered an asset for us at home is I live in North McAllen, right? So zip code is a thing. It's like a reality. And so
Yeah.
building wealth with our home was our first investment. But
Right.
what we did was, we continued, and I'm just going to be real transparent because I need to also get comfortable about that, as these people that are talking about real estate have already had this comfort, but because we just need to get better about talking about money, right?
Definitely.
As Latinas,
Yes,
and
100%.
as our region and people, we need to get like super comfortable talking about money like we're talking about anything else. So
Yeah.
I'm going to like go through that a little bit. I'm sitting here uncomfortable, but it's like I'm trying to share
No, yeah.
like share knowledge so that like everyone else can do this thing too, right?
Yeah.
So the reality is as my husband and I continue to make more money and we increased our salary and we increased the amount of
Yeah.
money coming into our home, we stayed with the same budget.
Right.
So all we kept doing is like putting away all that money, and thankfully we've grown in that. We've gone up in our tax space, but we've continued to stay consistent with our budget.
Right.
And we have 2 kids, and so these are all like realities, right? So we were like hoarding money away. And then all this time I was like asking questions from like real estate agents. My super good friend Karina Veal with Veal Properties, she taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And there is a point where all of us, we need to like stop learning about the thing and start doing it.
Yeah.
So like you can only watch so much content. You can only read so many books. You can only do all those things, and then you have to at some point like do the thing. So and then you also have to like have somebody hold you accountable. So that's when I was like, you know what, Karina, in 2023, I have this goal that I want to own a piece of property, a piece of real estate, to be to build up that generational wealth for us, and I want it to be a short-term property or short-term rentals through Airbnb. And so we really prayed about it, and we had this great opportunity at SPI. So we have a condo at South Padre Island, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was super scary. It is super scary now because all of a sudden we have 2 mortgages. But the summer, of course, has been really, really great to us.
Right.
And so it's been able to help us like offset. But I think, again, when we talk about the Latina dollar and the Latina economy, that we are definitely making way more money than generations past. Real estate needs to be something that we go into. The other thing I would say before you continue talking about the panel is our region. Like, I just sat in on a legislative debrief for the state of Texas, and then the transportation commissioner was down here this week, and all trends with demographers continue to show that the valley is growing very, very quickly, quicker than most places across the country. We are a young workforce. We are a young region in terms of age. So instead of other people coming in and exploiting all of the greatness that we have here, like, we as people from the valley need to move very quickly into the real estate area so that we can we can be the beneficiaries of our land and our region. So I'm super excited because I still have a lot to learn. And girl, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like, we have 1 property, but I aspire to have many. I aspire to continue to build up that generational wealth in our family, because why not us, right? So
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of why I wanted to have a real estate panel is because it's such a hot topic right now.
For sure.
And girl, I bought my house in 2019, and at the time I was like, at the time I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, because I'd been renting before. And then in hindsight now, 2023, I'm like, that was the best decision I ever made.
100%.
Yeah, and like my mortgage and the what I paid for the property, like it's like grown so much, and that's, I mean, some of that is part of like some stuff from like the pandemic, but like it's just
in our region, the trajectory is always going to keep going
it's going to keep going up.
So yeah, because our home, we bought it in 2009, I believe, and it's already worth like close to $200,000 more. I kid you not. So like, again, I'm super excited about the real estate panel, and I'm excited for like women that we're going to be there at the conference. Everyone always has something to learn,
right?
But hearing from the professionals telling us like how to do the thing and how we can gain access to it, and all of the programs, because I will tell you, there's so much information. So being able to get it here at this conference, their real estate expertise, super cool.
And they're all women, so we have when I approached the 3 women on the panel, I was like, I need to make sure that we're speaking to somebody that looks like us, and that they're speaking to us,
cultural relevance,
and not at us. Because if you look at any kind of like real estate podcast or financed podcast, like it's like run by men, and like, and kudos to them, like they're doing all it good, right, and it's fine. Like, but like, I don't want to listen to somebody that's talking at me. I know. So I wanted to make sure that the people that were on our panel were experts in the industry, and we definitely captured that. So Terry Sipes is our real estate agent that is going to be speaking on investing in real estate, and then Norma Hinojosa is of Remax Elite, so she owns a brokerage, and then Cross Country Mortgage and Yuviana Leal, which is, she's a lender. So you have like the
you
3,
have everything you need for that process.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. So like you have like everybody that's in the process, like you said. Any questions that you have, like, you can definitely like make sure you write them down and say like, hey,
Yes.
like, don't forget like what you want to ask them, because like the wealth of knowledge like on that stage is going to be amazing
For sure.
and I'm super excited because like I want to
Yes.
ask questions too, you know, like
Yes.
like I'm still not sure what escrow means, but I pay it. So like there's
So there's
that
that too,
there's that.
yeah.
So I want to
love it.
know like
100%,
more. I want to
uh-huh.
know more. I want to know all the things.
For
so
sure, yeah.
that is really exciting too. So
Super exciting.
our panel after that is our women in business panel, which
Okay.
is like
Yes, so I have that one
Yeah.
because it's my good friend Sarah Hammond. So I love him.
Yes.
So Sarah Hammond and then Dean Lozano with STC. Shout out to South Texas College.
Yes.
Dean Lozano will be here. And then, of course, I love Robert Delgado
Yes.
with BD Photography.
Uh-huh.
Three people that I really admire. So I
Yes.
cannot wait to hear from all of them.
I am super excited to hear from them, and Sarah actually sponsored that panel. So like,
Thanks,
yes,
Sarah. I know
thanks.
Sarah. Can we just get
Yeah.
Sarah Hammond is amazing. So from Atlas AC and electrical and all the things that Atlas is, but also like Sarah
So many
supports Boys and
things,
Girls
right?
Club of McAllen. Sarah supports women everywhere, and just and so it's like no surprise that Sarah is a huge sponsor of the Ganas Mija conference, and she's on the panel.
Alice is the title sponsor of the Women in Business panel, and I was very excited to have her on board as a sponsor and as a speaker, because how many women do you know that are in HVAC?
Yeah,
I
like
don't.
zero.
I don't. Her.
Yeah.
It's her, right? I'm super excited to hear from her and to hear from. To hear her experiences,
For
and I
sure.
think the Women in Business panel I think is really exciting for me, because you get to hear from people that are already like
Doing the thing.
they're already doing it, and their experience, and they're super full of knowledge, and like we're not about gatekeeping in
I
Con Ganas
know.
Mija, so like they're gonna like ask away, you
Yes.
know. I am really excited to hear about from all of them, and I think the education portion of it
Yes,
with Dean
with
Lozano,
Dean Lozano.
I am super excited to hear from her too,
Yeah.
because I'm a super big advocate of learning and continuing education,
For sure.
and just like being a forever learner.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to have her representing STC, because I
know.
think STC and community colleges are like just the little gems
Don't
in our
even, like,
communities.
get me- yeah.
Yes, like
Yes.
they like you can learn anything you
For
want
sure.
at STC, and I feel like
Yes.
from the time that I was at STC, because I have an associate's from STC in business, I like there's just so much more like course offerings
Yes,
now that
there
I'm
is.
like, I want to go back.
Yeah,
you know, like
I mean, they're
want
short
to.
term.
Yeah.
I know that Dean Lozano will talk about that at the conference, which, so again, when you talk about like, why do I want to purchase a ticket to this conference? There's, again, you can, take a look on the Instagram page, Con Ganas Mija, but to see all the highlights of the speakers. But with Dean Lozano being on one of the panels and her talking about like all the micro credentials, the reality is that learning is changing and it's
Yeah.
shifting. The state of Texas, there's this House Bill 8 that has done a significant investment in colleges and community colleges
Right.
across the state. And the reason for that is because that's really continuing to be the backbone of workforce and economic development, our colleges, community colleges like STC.
Yeah.
And Dean Lozano is at the forefront of that. So whether it's a micro-credential that's a certificate for 6 weeks, or maybe it's 6 months, or maybe it's a year, it's all about upward mobility and moving people along through education. And then, of course, like,
Definitely.
there's 127 like certificates and programs at STC, which I'm super proud about, to be able to like help walk alongside the president as a trustee. But Dean Lozano will be able to talk about all those things, and I think
I'm super
continuing
excited
ed
to hear
is
from her.
is really
Yeah.
important. So that alone again is a panel that is going to be worth the investment dollars. And like you said,
Yeah.
the $20 no frills, where you're just like, you know what, I have my $20 and I'm going to be able to listen to all these speakers
Yeah.
and this amazing lineup. You're for sure going to get something from it, right? Which is really, really great. So I know that you also have a photography content creation, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
So LKL is going to be here and talking a little bit about that. So I don't know if you can give us let me know what she's talking about.
Yeah, so aside from Barbara Delgado being on that course, also on that panel for Women in Business, which is you can spot a BD photography
Oh,
headshot
100%.
100 miles away.
Yes.
Like, I'm so excited to have her on the panel also. But for more introductory like information on product and product photography and content creation, my friend Lisa Linares is going to be teaching a introductory course on photography and content creation. So you can access the course by itself, or that one actually comes for free with your VIP ticket.
Got it. Okay,
so
perfect.
that one is, and then it comes with a headshot too. So if you want to get your headshot,
Okay.
it comes with your headshot with that course.
Very cool. And then what about Cindy Mata Vasquez? What is she going to be
So
talking
she's
about?
the one that is speaking on Canva. She's
okay,
teaching
that's
on
right.
Canva.
She's
Yeah.
teaching on Canva. All right. So
Yeah.
I think, there's like for $20 to get all of this
There's
is
so much.
ridiculous
It's
because
so much.
yeah, these are all like experts in their own fields. And then of course you have the actual marketplace and
Yes.
where everyone's going to be spotlighting. And so of course supporting local is really important. I think when we talk about economies and dollars, so there is like what they say, like the black dollar. So African Americans do a super great job of keeping their dollars and supporting and within their communities. And so I think as Latinos in general and the Rio Grande Valley, we can definitely get so much better about keeping our dollars here. I know I can do so much better about keeping our dollars here. And sometimes it's really hard because Prime is so easy, right? So Prime is so easy to shop in the middle of the night and you get it like in a day. And so but then there is so much value to like the marketplace that you're going to have here and wanting to support local. I know it's a little early for Christmas. However, it is September and we can come in and look for different gifts for people, so.
I know people that like go shopping for Christmas like the year before, like
those
after
people
one.
have their lives together.
Yes,
like
I do not. Yes.
I was gonna say I do not.
They have a little gift closet, which I'm still like, wow, that's goals, right?
Yeah, no.
But for sure, it's never too early to get the regalitos for your family.
For sure.
And it's a perfect time. We're mid-September, so you're gonna like beat the crowd for any kind of shopping. And there's so many things that I'm super excited
to bring together.
And they're all the special thing about our vendor market or our Mija Mercado is that they're all women-owned businesses.
I know. I love that.
All
so
of them
much.
are women-owned businesses.
Yes.
So I'm super excited to have everybody together. And I think what kind of differentiates my event or the Mija conference in Mercado is that those small business owners, they all have access to the conference.
Oh, I love it.
So like usually like when you do a vendor market, you get two people and they're like hanging out at the booth, but like the person that they're bringing with, like they can like just go and like sit in a panel and listen to the knowledge that's on the conference stage.
Yes.
So it's an investment in their business.
I love that so much.
In their business and being able to sell and get like awareness for their product, and then also an educational aspect of being able to go to the conference and listen to the speakers.
So good.
So I think it's an investment for them.
For sure.
To be able to spend the day with the other small business owners.
For sure.
That are also women and Latina in our region.
Yes.
And then also being able to listen to all of the information on the conference.
So we've covered the marketplace that everyone will have access to come shop. So make sure that everyone saves up their money so that we have plenty of money to shop. And then we've covered the speakers and of course the keynote from Nopalera. So Sandra, from the founder of Nopalera, coming in from California, going to drop some really, really great knowledge on all of us, and we're going to all leave inspired. So as we're kind of closing up, is there anything else that you want to highlight that's going to be really important? Also, like make sure to tell everybody where we can actually get tickets and all of the good stuff.
So you can find everything for Mija Conference on our website, conganasmija.com.
Okay.
If you're on our socials, all of our socials are under Con Ganas Mija. So I'm on all of the platforms. I try to be.
Very cool.
Anyway, so we're Facebook, Instagram, Threads, which I'm still kind of figuring out. I'm on LinkedIn too. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, go for it.
Yeah, very cool.
So we're on all the social media platforms except Twitter, and just wanted to make that little part known. I'm not on Twitter. And then you can find us on at our website at conganasmija.com. You can purchase the tickets there. It's all super easy. The event is on September 16th. Mija Mercado.
From what time
and
to what time?
Conference. It's from 12 to 8. It's a day full of experience and knowledge and
I'm not
all
mad
of the
by
things.
the way that it starts at 12 because I'm appreciating that you're giving us like some time for ourselves before the day starts. So sometimes when conferences are like super early in the morning, you're not like fully in.
That's also on me because like I don't want to. I'm still gonna be up at 6 a.m. that day, like getting everything done.
Yes.
But like also like I don't like you have to be in like the right headspace, and then for me, like anything before 10 a.m.
I
is
know,
like
I know.
it's too early, you know.
For
So
sure.
like I wanted to make sure that it was a good environment like that is like people want to be at. So
Yes.
like from 12 to 8, like you can like come with your breakfast. You can get a Starbucks here at the hotel.
I love it.
And it's just
Very cool.
I think it's gonna be a really great day. And then I think I got some feedback from our event last year that they said that the event was too long, and I'm like, no, like I can't fit all the things in the 8 hours. Like there's
Yes.
so much I want to do.
But are you
you know,
gonna
like
imprison
it's
us, or are we gonna be able to come in and out?
Yeah, no,
There you
I'm
go,
I'm closing
exactly.
the door and locking it behind me. No.
Yeah.
So the
So you get to
conference,
drop in,
yeah,
right?
you can drop in, and then if you want to make it like a girls' weekend, you can get a room here at the hotel and
Ooh,
just
that's
like
nice. I
drop
like
in
it.
and out.
Yes.
The hotel, I mean, obviously, like it has a restaurant, it has a Starbucks,
sure.
so there's all of the amenities for having a
Yes.
super fun day.
I love it.
Here at the
Well,
hotel.
I'm super inspired. I loved it last year, and I will tell you this, that there's a lot of women who have invested in me, who have spoken into my life, and even invested dollars into things that I've done. So I'm super excited. If it's okay with you, I would like to sponsor 2 women for the No
Yeah.
Frills. So
Yes, of
if there's
course.
2 women on your social media that's following, and I'll make sure to put
Yeah.
it out too, because we need to get to a point also where we reciprocate that. So people in my life and women in my life have invested in me, and so I would love to be able to sponsor 2 women that want to go at the No Frills
Yeah.
value, to make sure that they get all of the things that I would have loved.
Definitely.
And so we'll put that on social media here,
Yeah,
and
we
then
can do a
whoever hits
giveaway.
you up, let me know. And just, I just again think that if we continue to do that, we're just kind of creating these really, really great waves in our region.
Definitely.
Yes, and so I'm super excited about it. I'll definitely be popping in, making sure that there's some
Yes.
speakers that I absolutely want to make sure I'm here for. But then again, so you can take a look at all of the great work that Natalie's doing on Instagram, and you can also follow, of course, the Con Ganas Mija page. And then, so when you get on Instagram and you're on Con Ganas Mija, it's all together. In there, in the bio, you can click on the Con Ganas conference. That they also have a separate Instagram page, but you'll be able to, register, check out all of the speakers in the lineup on the website that's also in the bio. And we just really look forward to having a bunch
I'm
of
super
amazing
excited.
Latinas coming in and being
Yeah.
inspired by like-minded individuals from lived experiences like ours.
Like-minded mijas.
Yeah.
I'm
There you go.
I'm super about it. Like we're all mijas, and I think
For
a lot
sure.
of I shared a video that we got last year, and it was like, where did Con Ganas Mija come from? And I'm like, you never heard that before? Like
Yeah.
my parents would say it to me all the time.
Yep.
And I sometimes it was like not Mija, it was like cabrona, because
Yeah.
like we're all like super hard-headed or
Yes.
whatever. But yeah, I think that's just something that we can all resonate with, and
For sure.
I'm excited to grow the conference and to grow the brand, and just to continue to support the women in our community, because we need it.
We need to. We need to support each other.
Yeah, it's, I would say this like all the time. It's like necesitamos apoyar una a la otra, and like that's something that like if we're not supporting each other, like how do we like expect to like
For sure.
keep moving forward?
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
so I'm excited
For sure.
for all the conference attendees, and
Yes.
for the speakers, and for the vendors. So Mija Conference in Mercado is on September 16th here at the Doubletree Suites Hotel in McAllen, Texas. It is on September 16th from 12 to 8 p.m. Join us for a lineup of all women speakers at our conference, and a Mija Mercado featuring all small women-owned businesses from the RGB. Ahí nos vemos.